Money talk, financial talk. Welcome to Weekdays with Chichi Beauty. Today we are going to have a live discussion. It's going to be all about finance. We want to know, should you stay in a relationship if you have financial issues? Now, when we talk about financial issue, it is always a thing in most relationship, whether you are in a committed relationship, whether you're married, whether you're just in a casual relationship, is always some form of a money. And that is reasonable because we all tend to spend money one way or the other. So what I want you to do today, I want you all to join in on the topic. It's a live discussion, so I am open for your input on on the topic itself. I'm just slowing down a bit to wait for the chat to becomes alive. Now, while that is happening, let's do some shout out. We have some members on the chat. We have Jill, we have Cynthia, we have some subscribers who are like early birds. We also have Karen on the chat. We have Keisha, we have Makeup Forever, Sari, Loretta Aeon. Welcome back. We have Essie, welcome. We also have, who else is here that was pretty early? I like to give the early bird the shout out. Roxanne, welcome. And I think I'm missing one person. Obviously, our notification has not gone out. And Siri Tangan, welcome to the chat. So right now we are having a few people popping up. Now take a note of the topic. Should you stay in a relationship if there's financial issue? Just think about it before you start commenting. We really want to hear your input on this topic. Now let's talk a little bit about finance. Why is it such an issue in a relationship or in anyone's life that is? It's an issue because we all use some form of financial or finance support in the relationship. Now, if you are in a relationship and you are the breadwinner, I'm going to use the word breadwinner. Breadwinner meaning that you are the one that are bringing in most of the, let's use the word money instead of finance. You're the one bringing in most of the money in the relationship. Now, if your other half is not bringing in that amount, should you stay or should you go? We want to touch on any of these topics. Another thing that we want to talk about is whether or not money really matter in a relationship. And also we want to touch on who should be the provider in the relationship, whether it should be the male or it should be the female, depending on the relationship that you are having. Another thing we want to talk about is oh my goodness, where's my notes? You see, I'm not so good with the notes. Like I was just writing my notes and now they're all gone. Okay, here is the notes. Another thing we want to talk about is budget. We also want to talk about financial goals. We want to talk about debt. We want to talk about credit. All of these contribute to whether or not there are issues in our relationship. Now, now the chat has become a little more alive. So if you're just joining, welcome. We want to have a live discussion today. Should you stay in a relationship with financial issues? I want you all to comment and tell me offhand without going into details, a yes or a no. If you think you should stay in a relationship with financial issues, I would like you to comment now, yes. And if you think that you should get out of a relationship that have financial issues, comment no. And we're going to break it down some more. But let me see you start commenting now. Should you stay in a relationship with financial issue? If so, comment yes. Or should you leave a relationship with financial issue? I don't want the extra wording right now because I know most people are going to have something to go along with their answer. All I want is a yes or a no. Should you stay or should you go? Yes or or no. If you're in a relationship, regardless what kind of a relationship is if there's financial issue in the relationship, should you stay or should you go? Now, Unstoppable is saying yes. That means yes, you should stay. Now, Margaret, if the financial issue is being worked on, I can say yes, but monitor the situation. If the other person is not making any effect to help or effort to help, make your move. And that is another reason. Now, let's see. We're waiting for the yes and the no. If you are watching and you think you should stay in a relationship that has financial issue, comment a yes or a no. And here comes Miss Smarty Pants Cynthia. One of the reasons why I said comment a yes or a no without any extra wording is because I know some people is going to talk about depend, okay? But right off the bat, without going into any details, you think about it. If there is financial issue, can you clearly make a yes or can you clearly make a no whether or not to stay or whether or not to go? Now, I'm seeing a lot of people saying either yes or no. Some people saying yes to stay. Some people say no, get out, get out, get out, get out. Now, one person, Miss Smarty Pants Cynthia, is saying that is all depend. Now, from my point of view, let me hear from you now. For those of you who answer yes, tell me the reason why you think you should stay. And if you answer no, can you let me know why do you think you should go if there's financial issue in a relationship? Comment now. Start commenting. It's a live discussion on the chat today, so please be, free to answer the question. Just remember to keep it within the YouTube guideline. We noticed that our thumbnail didn't get sent out. However, hopefully they'll send out the second wave, which is about 10 minutes from now, to notify people that we are on. Now, let's see what Latanya have to say. I'd rather be in a financial issue than abuse. So yes. All right, that's a good point right there. Now, Roxanne, you answer yes. Tell me why you think you would stay in the relationship if it have a financial issue. There's no trick to this. It's no tricky question. It's just for you to just sit and think about it, because financial issue is gonna crop up in most relationship. And even if you have it like that, it's still gonna crop up because a spending need to be checked. Okay, spending need to be checked. Now, personally, for me, if I'm in a relationship and there's financial issues, I would stay under certain circumstances. I'll stay in the relationship if those financial issues were created together. If the financial issues were created together, meaning that I blew a credit card, you blew a credit card, or we do something like, you might spend some money to fix a house, you might spend some money to, pay some tuition, or, you splurge on a vacation, and then you come back and there is not enough, you're struggling to pay up these bills, then I would stay. But if I go in a relationship and I take someone up, and I don't really want to touch on this little part of it yet, so let me just stay with why I would stay first, and then I'm going to hear from you, and then I'm going to talk about why I would leave. Let me hear from you. Also, all of you who decided that you would stay in the relationship if there's financial issue, let me hear why you would stay. All right, so Unstoppable. Because okay, I think I just I read yours. Financial issues can always be amended. Well, okay, here it is. Can always be amended when they both came together to talk about it, because at the end of the day, it's money and it should be a big issue. Okay, so if it can be amended, it can be amended once you talk about it. That is also a good point. Don't just watch and not comment, guys. Feel free to comment. I make this topic today because I want it to be an open topic where each of you have a say. Now, even if you're single, money is an issue. So we just want you to comment and share your views on this topic. I personally think it's a topic worthy for people to comment and be free to talk about. So if you're just joining us, we want to know if you would stay in a relationship because of financial issue, or if you have financial issues, or if you would leave the relationship because of financial issue. Now, if you would stay and you comment yes, you would stay, I just want to hear your feedback and why would you stay? Now, Juliana, yes, if the money was not used for another woman, okay, that's actually another good point. Okay, if it's not used on someone else, then you would stay. And that is basically similar to what I am saying. If the money issue was created by both of us, I feel the need to stay and help to fix the situation. Now, Roxanne, if we are married and we do the financial issues together, we stay together until we pay. And I actually agree with that too. However, there are many people out there that when they get in a relationship, and if there was already money in the relationship, okay, if there was already money in the relationship, which will break that down a little further, and then all of a sudden that money is no longer there. Some people don't feel the need to stay in the relationship. Some people will be more like, well, when I met you, you were able to provide this for me, you were able to provide that for me, and now you can't provide it. So what am I doing here? What am I doing here? We're going to dive deep into why some of these can be a major issue. Hi, Loretta. Welcome to the chat. Now, Margaret is agreeing with Juliana. Now, if you're just joining us, we are doing a live open conversation today, live open discussion, talking about money on a whole, our financial situation. If you're in a relationship, should you stay in it if the money starts to go down, or should you just leave the relationship? Now, from my point of view, I stay if we both create the bill. I definitely would leave the relationship if I go into the relationship. First of all, let's be clear here. There's something that most of us should do before we get into a relationship, but most of us really do not do that. And I'm talking about a real relationship. Now, I'm not talking about, some people get in relationship for many different reasons. Now, one thing that we should all do, especially in today's world, when we get ourselves involved, is to find out about the finances. 90% of us don't do that. One, if you're getting with someone and you start to inquire about the finance situation, it's going to seem like that is what you're after. Okay. It's always going to seem like, why is this person questioning me about my money like this? It's only you only want to be with me because of the money. And that is why that is a question that is always left under the rug until you really in the relationship and sometimes you find out that things is not as pretty as it look on the outside. Always remember, when it comes on to dating, and we're going to start from dating. When it comes on to dating, a person is going to put their best foot forward. You're going to put your best foot forward. You might not be able to take a person out for dinner once a week, but because you're dating, you put that effort into it to take that person out once a week. Now, after dating for about 3 months, just whining and dining this person on a regular, this is what the person now becomes accustomed to. The person is not going to ask, can you really afford, in the beginning of the relationship, they're not going to ask, can you really afford to be taking me out so often? You're not going to ask that. Most of the time, the person who is not spending is going to be like, oh my goodness, he took me to dinner, or she took me to dinner, and you're not even thinking that, is this a front or if it's not a front? Okay, now we need to know what we're getting into. I think that it should be on the board before you really start to shock up. And when I'm talking about shock up, the casual dating and all of that, that's not shocking out. But from the moment you decide to move in together, you should talk about the money. And we're using money today instead of financial. You should talk about the money. And the reason why you should talk about it, you need to know what you're getting into, because when you get in it, and if it's not right, is going to create a problem. You could get into a relationship with someone with little to nothing, and you yourself have little to nothing. You can stay in it and you can work together to create something solid. However, expectation sometimes in a relationship, expectation, because on the dating platform, when you were dating, you're getting wine, you're getting dine, you're getting gifts, and you're getting all of that, and you think that that is the norm. You think that this is what you're getting into, but when you get in there, after dating for 3 months and you decide to move in, when you move in, guess what you notice there? You notice that all those dinners and all those nice fancy gifts, the bill is still there piled up. Now that bill now become your bill, and you're some women or men gonna be like, no, that's not my bill at all. That person bill. But let me tell you something. When you're both doing it together, and if one person money is not right and the other person money is right, after a while, somebody's going to start complaining. Someone is going to start complaining, okay? That I'm spending this and that. I'm spending this and that. I am taking care of this bill. I'm taking care of that bill. And what are you doing? Your money is not making up. It's not catching up. It's going to create a problem. So I suggest know your money before you get in. That means you wouldn't get to this stage where the financial issue is about to happen, deciding whether to leave or no. And that is not true, because when you get in, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good. And after a while, things happen. People get laid off. People lose their job. People overspend. People, splurge on things they shouldn't splurge on. All of that combined into creating financial situation. Now, there are good debts and there are bad debts. Let me all hear from you. Now, we're still asking, do you think that would you stay in a relationship if it's a financial issue, and why? And if you decide that you would not stay, why would you leave? Comment. It's an open discussion, so feel free to discuss, feel free to share, and let's talk about it. Now, our Bliss, they are not married yet, and the lady, he was all right. So it starts from the top. So what about a guy who mismanaged his business and has collected loans and couldn't pay while he was selling off his business? He did not even let his girl know about it until there was nothing again. They are not married yet, and the lady he was dating is still trying to set up a business, and she just graduated from school. She was thinking that the business is going well, not knowing he is lying to her. And basically, that's what I'm talking about. All the glitz and the glamour that comes when you start dating is something that you should check out. It's something, because people is gone, as I said, people are going to put their best foot forward. In a situation like this, the good thing is the marriage is not yet happening. And I just watched a show, believe it or not. I just watched a show recently, a movie that is where a similar situation. This lady was in a relationship, and not a relationship, I'm going to call it a marriage. She was in a marriage, and she was the breadwinner because her job was able to afford more, and she take up more work, and the husband tended to be more home, taking care of one kid that they have. But at the same time, the husband do have a business going where he's trying to become a kind of an entrepreneur in housing business. Now, what happened eventually, the lady started to feel a little funny, like something was off, only to find that all her savings and everything that she have was basically gone because her husband staying home was trying to invest in all these kind of a development where he was not sure about. So all of that was gone. Okay. So it's normal sometimes for people to be in a relationship, and it happened over and over and over and over, where you do not know how the other person's finance is going. If you're in a relationship, whether you're male or you're female, you should know there are way too much casual things that is going on, where my money is my money, your money is your money. Now, I'm not saying that cannot happen. I am not saying my money, your money can't happen. But if you're going to be in a relationship, I personally think when it comes on to what you have to spend should be on the table. It should be on the table, and it doesn't matter who make more or who make less. All of that should be on the table. And when it's on the table, then you know exactly what you're getting into. If you're out there and you support your family and you're getting a paycheck, and that paycheck, you normally bring that paycheck home, okay? And you get another side thing you're doing, and you want to keep that for yourself, I'm not going to fight you down on that, okay? I'm not going to fight you down on that. Both of you pick up extra job, blah, blah, blah. It's okay. But once you know that we need to take care of X, we need to take care of Y, all of that is on the table. Now you take your pocket change, I take my pocket change, and I give into this pocket change thing. Now pocket change don't have to be really change, to be honest. Pocket change should be a fair amount that that person could keep that person throughout the month. And that is how most time when people do their little business like that, it can run smooth. However, even though that is going on, you will find, and most women could testify to this, you will find a lady's gonna go and buy a pair of shoes or a handbag that they shouldn't, that is out of budget, and they would hide it and try to cover it. Okay, little things like that you can live with. Little things, but the big things where your husband or even you, women doing a lot of trading these days, go and just put all their money somewhere without the other person knowing and thinking that it is still there. And when you wake up and you start to reach out, you realize that there is nothing there. In a situation like that, should you stay or should you go? Now, please, should the lady continue with the wedding when all is gone and debt is there to be paid? The honest truth is, I think to each his own, but if for me, and I can't get a straight explanation, it's a no. And the reason why it's a no, because this is going to be something, if you weren't honest, we just start out, we're not even married yet, and you're not honest, then what does that mean? It means that this dishonesty is going to keep going. I'm not going to continue with the dishonesty. The honest truth is, at my age right now, I can talk like that because I see things clearer, okay? I see things clearer. I'm more experienced when it comes on to this kind of an issue. But when a person is young, and the word my grandmother used to use a lot is giddy-headed, you're not going to think about that. The first thing you're going to think about, I love him. I love him. I love him. And marriage, my ring, like my ring. Oh, the flowers. Oh, I'm getting married. Yeah. That's all that is in most young people. I'm not going to use the word young people because, people getting on think about it like that too. So they don't see the negativity, okay? They don't see the negative. And because they don't see the negative, they're going to definitely go on. However, one should not discourage someone from choosing what is it that they want to choose. I believe that you should make your own mistake. And when you make your own mistake, then you can wake up for it. I'm going to give you basically a true story, right? But I'm going to change a little. Okay, I hope some people don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I have family members, and I'm just going to say family members right across the board, just family members. And my family member was in a situation. And me being the way I am, I watch everything, and like a person like nice things, that person spend a lot, but that person is not spending on the thing that they should be spending on, okay? You spend on you want a nice car, you want nice clothes, expensive clothes and all of that, no roof over the head and, no saving, no nothing concrete. No, I'm going to be looking at that on the outside and I'm like, girl, something don't look too right there. You got to check what's going on. Okay, I'm going to be doing that. So I'm like that with the family member. And you know what kind of resistance I get? Oh, no, but it's this, it's that, and nice, and that. You know what? All of that turns sour in no time, okay? All of that turns sour in no time. person wake up, no money, no nothing. Okay. And why is that? Why is that? Because when you met this person put their best foot forward. This person is wearing the right clothes. And materialistic, sometimes we are so materialistic where we think that, okay, when you come right, and you have on, you're going to put your very best on when you're going out there. And that is why I don't dress up for people. Okay. I don't dress up for people, and I don't put on for people. And the reason why I don't do that is because I want you to accept me as I am. I always tell people that if I was rich and looking for a significant other, I would be the one that would go put on some raggedy clothes and walk around, go somewhere and see who's going to like me. I would be that kind of a person. I am not the person that is going to put my very best foot forward, like I'm going and I'm shining and, I'm wearing the best of the best. And then when you see me coming, you are attracted to that. All of that you can just go down the drain right away. You can lose it all. Now, you don't need to pretend, because if you start out being nice, if you start out splurging, if you start out just giving and doing all the nice things, the person is going to expect that to continue. Now, when you get into a relationship or you get into a marriage and you find that you probably, on the other hand, you're now married, you can spend freely and thinking you're spending that other person's money too. And you're spending freely, you're buying things because your person is, have it like that. When you take a start, the person have nothing. Happen all the time. It happen all the time. You should check with a person's pocket before you shock up. If you agree with me, please comment. And if you don't agree with me, tell me why you don't. Sharon, I'm in such a situation right now. The other person does nothing, just receiving and not giving. I'm going to talk about that. Gigi, Chichi, I'm African. You look like people from my tribe. I might be. You never know. I was told. I often get that. Like, yes, I look. What tribe are you from? Let me hear. I am so much interested in learning that because normally I get that a lot. So let me hear it. And I think it's because of the eye cheekbones or something. Now, please okay, I did read that. Oh, I'm going through that now. That's Christiana. My man spent too much. See what I mean? Now, who else is here? And Sharon is in such a situation. Let's talk about Sharon's situation. I'm in such a situation right now. The other person does nothing, just receiving, not giving. And the honest truth is that is another situation that we put ourselves in, where we tend to give. There's a lot of ladies, and I'm going to come at you ladies today. There's a lot of you ladies out there, when you get into a relationship, you give a lot. When you just get into a relationship, you give a lot. And you don't care. You're giving so much because you want that acceptance. Last week, I was talking about finance, and I was talking about old school. And I was talking about, relationship, and I was talking about old school. Now, ladies, sometimes you give too much. I was going to just spill my little nephew dirty laundry on here, but let me keep it because he just might watch the show. And we don't have a lot of male in our family, but the few that we have, I like to have conversation with them. And the conversation that I have with them sometimes, it's really mind blowing. Just the way they're younger generation, of course, but just the way they look at life and just the way they look at us women. They know they're not coming from their old grandparents stage where, a man is a provider for the family. And if things go wrong, the man should get up, regardless of what a man do. And let's say you have a big top-notch job, you lose the job, but then expect him to get up, go out, go clean up something on the street, go cut some grass, do whatever it takes to put food on the table. In today's society, most of our younger men, per se, do not think like that. They think that you should provide for them as a woman, even, if you're making more. And they also sometimes think that if you have a good job as a female, they no need to stress it. They don't need to stress it because your salary is good enough to take care of things. It shouldn't be. It should not be. Now, if you go in and you always need to make a decision when you're going into a relationship, are you going in the relationship 50-50? A friend of mine was giving me a joke recently about a little young man that she met at the workplace, and they were having a conversation, and the young man was like, I really not into the taking care of no woman. I feel like at the end of the day, if it's not 50-50, it should at least be 30-70. Okay? It should at least be 30-70. So some men nowadays not into the, if you are trying to put the stress on them to completely take care of a family, they feel like a woman should be coming with at least 30%, okay? At least 30%. If you're just joining, we're talking about financial issue in a relationship. If you have financial issue, should you stay or should you go? My take on that is that if I help to create the issues, if I help to rack up these bills, I should stay and help to put it together. But I'm not going to be in a relationship and you sit and you rack up all those bills and I have to be pulling out my hair trying to figure out how to pay it. No, you rack up the bill, you pay it. However, if you are happy, if you're married, it becomes your bill. It becomes your bill. Believe it or not, if you are married, it becomes your bill. And there's a thing that they call credit. And that is one thing, especially if you're in America, it's very, very important to have good credit. Now, if you get married, his credit becomes your credit and his debt becomes your debt. So know what you're getting into. All of those, fancy restaurant that you were taken to on the dating scene, you might end up having to pay for your own food, even though at the time you didn't know that you would have to pay for it. Don't be fooled. Do money talk. Money talk, guys. Young people, old people, money talk is vital. Now, Christian, my man spends so much, he has no control of spending. All our income tax and stimulus is gone. So we are now separated and have 2 kids. And this is not a joke, guys, okay? As much as you hear, I make that little grunting sound just now. I make that grunting sound like, is because I am experienced, okay? I'm much older and things like that. You know what this person is saying, okay? You know what this person is talking about. Now you got to nip it in the butt. You got to say, let's sit down and work on the finance together. And that is why my advice to anybody in any form of a relationship to do the money talk. Most of the time, we don't want to talk money. Most of the time, we do not want to talk money, but you need to talk money, because if you do not talk money, you're going to find that somebody is doing something and something is going wrong and you don't know. I have a friend, and I like to talk about my friends. I'm one type of person that can get away with talking some of these things, even though I'm not calling any name. I have a friend that know nothing about what goes on in our marriage, okay? At the time, nothing. Don't know how no bill pay, don't know how no food buy, don't know how mortgage pay, don't know nothing, okay? Things start to go rough. Things start to get rough. And that's the time you start to realize that they didn't really have money. They were just surviving. Anyway, I'm going to get into that. Thank you, Cat Eye. And Cat Eye, I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome back. And thank you for giving us $5 with your super sticker. Now, if you're watching and you want to contribute something, the $sign is there. If you want your voice to be heard or you want to be noticed on the chat, you can contribute something and you will be highlighted. We do not force you to contribute, only if you want to. Now, if you're just joining, we're talking about relationship and financial situation. Should you stay or should you go? Should you stay in the relationship if the finance is not what you were expecting, or if it has gone all the way down, or should you leave the relationship? Now, Amina, if you are getting in a relationship and you cannot have difficulty or money conversation, that is a relationship you should be careful of getting into. And that is the truth. But as I said, people really do not think, and people tend to put up a front. Do you know that most people getting in a relationship in the first couple of weeks or months in the relationship is always a lie? There's like a lot of lies that float around when people are just getting into relationship. People tend to flash things, okay? People tend to pretend to be what they are not. People tend to come off like they have more than they really have. And most time, that is what a lot of people fall for. Most people are looking for someone that can have something, contribute something one way or the other. Most people are looking for that. Now, if you are searching or being with someone, you need to know. You need to know, and you need to know before you get even deeper, before you start living together. Now, there are some bills that people tend to overlook. One such bill is a student loan. Student loan. Something is just smelling a little funny here. Hold on, guys. Let me see what's going on here. I think I turned a light off, but okay. Yes, if you are living, if you are, one bill that people tend to overlook is student loan. And student loan is something that you should also put up on the front, because student loan is dangerous, okay? Student loan is dangerous, but most people will accept you with the student loan. And you know why I know that student loan is dangerous? Because it do go on your credit, and it stayed on that credit forever and forever. It stay on it forever and forever. And I'm going to tell you a true situation, and this is coming from me. I had student loan, okay? I had student loan, and I pay my student loan. Trying to remember how many months payment that I had. Something probably like about 30 something, but anyway, it was an X amount of payment that I have for my student loan, monthly payment. And my entire time of paying back my student loan, I was late once. I was late once, and it wasn't even my issue. Anyway, it's a long story, but I thought it was paid, and it wasn't paid. And that's another thing too, okay? It wasn't paid. And believe it or not, when I pull up my student loan sheet, guess what is there big and bold? The one time that I miss it. The one time that I miss that. Now, if you are married and if you pick someone up with a student loan and you get married, that would also reflect on their credit report also, because you become one. You become one. And that's why that is one that you got to be very, very careful about. If you meet someone with student loan, make sure that person is paying up that student loan when they're supposed to pay it up. All right, that's just one example of some bills that people tend to take people up with. Another bill that people tend to take people up with is car payment. Some people will be like, oh, I'm still paying for my car. It's okay. You go in the relationship. Now, what is going to happen if something happened and that person cannot pay that car payment? That will become your bill. And that also could become an issue, because maybe you would not have bought that car if it was, you're going to fall on you. You wouldn't have done it. But most people take people up with those kind of bill. Another bill that people take people up with is also, mortgage. And if you pick somebody up with mortgage, you definitely know. First of all, ladies, let me read this thing out to you really, really, really loud and clear. Okay. A lot of you ladies, or a lot of us ladies, and it worked the other way too. Men and gentlemen, women have been having so much these days, but a lot of, regardless of who you are, you like the idea that when you meet someone, they already have their home. Like, yeah, I'm dating this guy. He's okay. He's fly. He also owns his own home. Remember, when you start to shack up with this person, most cases is going to have a mortgage. Now, that mortgage debt, believe it or not, it becomes your debt also. Now, be mindful of how much you contribute, because you just might contribute for a couple of years to it, and then you still have to go at the end of the day, because at the first time place it wasn't yours. I'm just like throw little things out there. But yeah, that is also one debt. When you go into relationship that comes with this kind of debt, you need to talk. You need to have the conversation. You need to talk. So, okay, we're going to move in together. Now, let's talk about finance. Who is going to do what? Who is going to do what? Or how are we going to put everything together, combine everything together and work at it? You got to talk about it, because you don't want, when you go in, some surprises. And most time when people break up over finance issue is always the surprises. Okay, it's always the surprises, or one person spend too much, whether you're male or whether you're female. You need to keep that in check, and that is why it goes back to what I was saying. I give in to put the money on the table. And ladies, this might sound stupid or old fashioned, but put the money on the table. Don't be with anybody that you don't know how the finance is going. Even if they think that, okay, you're just talking because you want to know about the finance. Yes, you want to know about it. Okay. Put the money on the table. When you put that money on the table, if you make 10 cents and he made 10 cents, you put that 20 cents on the table and bills come up to 10 cents. You have 10 cents left. You take out 7 cents and you save and you have 3 cents left. Split that 3 cents. He get a half of the 3 cents. You get a half of the 3 cents. Whatever you do with your 3 cents is your business. Okay, whatever he does with his 3 cents is his business. If you need to pay his mama bill out of his 3 cents, is his business. If you need to take care of your grandparents out of your 3 cents, it's your business. Okay, whatever you do with your portion is your business. But what we have to gather in here, all the bills and all the little knickknacks plus the little savings, that is our business. If you can do things like that, believe it or not, a lot of people would still be in their relationship. But bashfulness, people are ashamed to talk about money. I'm going to hear what you all have to say. Let me hear from you. Oh, I forget the child support too. That's another bill that people take people up with. Let's hear from you. Comment. You're on the live chat. Let me hear you. I need to get your feedback on the topic. Go ahead and comment. Let me know how you feel. If you're in a relationship, should you stay? If the money start to go bad, or should you go? Now, is it possible to marry with separate asset, including student loan? Yes, most young people, especially college student, end up getting married and they both have student loan. It's still gonna be separate, and because they're not gonna combine that bill. But when it comes on to like your credit report as a couple, then that's gonna play a part. So you're going to see 2 student bill on it. Okay. Now, it's always good to talk about those bills. It's always good. And people, when you're getting in relationship, let people know you have these kind of bills. Don't play bigger shot or bigger dough and be like, oh, I got it all together, man. I got it. You know, I'm good with that. No, say it. If the person want to run, then it's up to that person, but lay it out on the table. Listen, I have some student loan, or guess what? I have some child support. Most people don't talk about these things. They wait until they get you in the relationship up to your nose and you can't back out now. And that's when you're going to realize that, oh my goodness, this person did have all these kind of bills. This person credit is bad. I want to go get us a little house. Now the credit is off. Like, know before you go. Okay, know before you go. All right, so we are moving on. Loretta, I was in a relationship and it didn't work out because he was too controlling of the money. Now that also could be offensive to a lot of people. A lot of people will get feel bothered if the person is too controlling with money. And that is why I mentioned the freedom of your money. Okay. If I like to spend, oh, I like to spend. Okay. I like to spend, oh, I like to spend. And that is the truth. I've been doing it ever since, I leave my parents' home. I spend, oh, I want to spend. However, when you take up someone, that person might be even more frugal than you are. And if the person is frugal in such a way, if you're saving for something and you're saving for something together, I understand that. The person is going to be watching you, or you watching each other and like, listen, I don't really think you need that. But if you're with someone that you can't even spend your own pocket change, you ain't talking to me. I work hard. Okay. You ain't talking to me. I work hard. And that's why I still go back to where I'm telling you guys, if you are out there and you could implement this system and stop being scared of your partner, man, you're going to get with somebody and you're scared of them to talk about money. You shouldn't be. If you're in a relationship and you can't talk to your partner about money, you can't lay it out on the table, something is wrong. And I'm going to use the word woman. A lot of women are scared to have conversation with their significant others about money. Like, I say anything here because I'm going to get upset. Stop it, man. Stop it. You need to be able to talk about it. If you're not good enough to talk about it, you're not good enough to be together. Okay, Jenny, my mom always taught me to have to have yours, mine, and ours. Okay, my mom always taught me to have yours, mine, and ours. You get it? And that's basically what I'm trying to share. You have yours, mine, and ours. Put it on the table. All the bills and everything combined is ours. Okay? Yours is the leftover that we split together. Mine is my half of that leftover. This is basically, and this is an old school thing, but it actually works. Just think about you out there. You want to go buy a bag, okay? It's kind of little expensive and you know you can't really afford it, okay? However, you take yours and you save it up for 10 months and you go and you buy that bag, nobody can come at you because you're spending yours. You're spending yours, you're not spending ours. So if you're with someone and you're spending yours and they have a problem with it, I don't stand for that. I probably would want, don't control me with mine, okay? Nor can I control you with yours. I can control you with ours, or you can control me with ours, because this is what we should be doing together. So if I am not satisfied with mine and I want to go and dig into ours, it's an issue, and it should be an issue for either or either. But what I have, mine is mine, yours is yours, ours is ours, and ours is an issue that we both should pull at each other to make sure that ours is right. Now, Kata, me and my husband have a bank account together. I have my own bank account, and he doesn't know. We talked about that last week. A lot of women tend to do that, but 90% of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I'm throwing this out there. When the extra bank account comes around, let me know at what time in the relationship do you start thinking about the extra bank account. I want to hear from you. If you're out there and you have a separate account from your significant other, regardless of what type of a relationship that you're in, let me hear from you. When did you start thinking that you need that extra one? Or did you go in the relationship from day one telling yourself that I'm going into this, I need to have my own? I would like you to comment right now. 50 people, just go ahead and comment. Start commenting right now. Start commenting. Start commenting. Start commenting. The word post a comment, that is where you're going to type the comment in. I want to hear from you. And don't just watch and not comment. Comment, comment, comment. Let me know. Let me know. Just start commenting and let me hear from you. So when do you start thinking about having a second, or not a second account, an account for yourself if you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage? Now, Katai, I always have it. Jenny Jones, beginning. Margaret, always have your own. And Margaret is also saying beginning. So a few people are commenting that in the beginning of the relationship, and a few people are saying that they went into it having theirs. Now, let me throw another question out, since most of you tend to not want to comment. Let me ask it another way. When you get in a relationship and you already have your account, do you open a new account together and start saving in that account together? Or do you just keep what you have and, go move on with what you have and he have what he have? Do you open a joint account, or do you just keep what you have and just wing it from there? Christine, it took years before I realized he was spending unnecessary money. See, it's always like that. It is always like that, where people spend unnecessary money. Christine is saying it took years. And guess why? Because it's not on the table. It's not on the table. If it was on the table, you would know or you wouldn't care. And when I say you wouldn't care if it was on the table, because when it's on the table and you take out yours and then you give him his and you take yours, then whatever you do with his, you wouldn't care. Okay, that's what I mean, that you wouldn't care. But if you don't know how the spending is going and it's not on the table, the comment was ours, yours, and mine. And everyone can walk off the show today thinking about ours, yours, and mine. I know most people don't do that. Everyone's relationship is different. You know, people do what they have to do and people do what they want to do. But if you're in something serious and you really want what you have to work, you should talk about money, money, money. And as I'm giving my advice, the easiest way is to do the ours, yours, and mine. Nobody can go wrong when you do it like that. Now, I wait 2 years after my marriage to open a joint account. And Christina, I trust him. I trust him. Chichi, I'm the one who spend the money, and I do know that sometimes. That's why I was talking about us ladies. Sometimes we buy things and we hide it because we know that we shouldn't be spending it in the first place. However, if it was a situation where it's ours, yours, and mine, you wouldn't have a problem spending. But in spite of that, we also know that you have ours, yours, and mine, and some people still go behind each other back and try to get into the ours. And try to get into the hours and, you know, deplete the hours without the other person knowing. You should know because you should be checking. Ladies, don't be in a relationship and don't check your finance. Check yours, check his, know what you're getting into. Eva, almost married but failed because his father asked me to sign letter of agreement, separation, treasuries before marriage, and I want he signed prenuptial agreement, so he think I am materialistic. Yes, 90% of the time, this is an issue. When you get into something and you start to talk money, everybody's eyes open. Everybody's eyes is open. And normally, is the person that have the money to protect is the person that is going to come forward and be like, you know, you need to sign this or you need to sign that. The person who is going in with little to nothing, in some cases, going to have a problem. So why are you asking me to sign? You asking me to sign because you think I want your money. But the honest truth is, regardless of what side it is coming from, you shouldn't be afraid to sign. You shouldn't be afraid to sign. And the reason for that is, you're not going in for what the person have. You should be going in for love. Okay, you should be going in for love. I'm not saying to be love and I can't use that word on this channel. Okay, I'm not saying that, but you should be going into love. Now, the thing is, if you get into something and somebody already asks you to sign, you also have to ask. So when I sign this, does it mean from today's date, whatever we make is going to be ours? You got to ask those questions and you got to know what you're signing to. You got to know what you're signing to. And if you don't understand, ask. You just might sign all your 10 years that you're going to get away. You don't want that. So you just have to ask. And shouldn't be a problem because it's not about the money. It's about the love, right? Anyway, you guys understand what I am saying. Nowadays, I think you both should have your own account and a joint account. You have to be so careful. Nowadays, you should have the ours, the yours, and the mine, okay? The ours, the yours, and the mine. However, when you have your ours, the yours, and the mine, if a person is not putting as much that they should put, it should be a fair amount that is going into the hours. Okay, I am not against anyone having theirs and yours and ours. I'm not against that. However, what is ours, it should be a fair amount that is going into the hours, because you'll also find that people live together for years and their mind is loaded, and the yours is not loaded because the yours has been put in way too much into ours. I think that is unfair. Okay, and it's always happened with women. Okay, it's always happened with us women, especially some of those who have been around for a while. Like, we want to make sure that ours is good, and we expect the other person to contribute to theirs and the ours even more than you. Most time women get together, sometimes they feel like the male or the stronger person in the relationship should contribute more to ours. Okay, I think it should be percentage wise. And the reason why I'm telling you, I think it should be percentage wise. So this guy that was talking about the 30-70 thing, I think it should be percentage wise. If you work X amount, you work 3 times the amount that I work, I think you should put 3 times what I put into the hours. I think that is fair, okay? And then whatever you have left for yours is yours, and whatever I have left for mine is mine. But we're both putting X amount of percentage in the hours, and that way it will work. Some of you might not understand what I'm saying, or some of you might not agree, but if you're into something, remember, you're in it not because, oh, I just want to be in it. You're in it for love, and you're in it for growth. Okay, you're in it for growth. And if you want to grow with the person to achieve even more, you should have the discussion. You sit down, you talk about the finance, and definitely do the hours, the years. And even if you start out as 2 young person going into something with basically nothing, clean slate, because we forget the days that people go in with nothing, clean slate. Well, when you go in, you still can establish for independency, that is the hours, the years, and the mind, clean slate, and you go into the hours with a percentage amount. All right, situation where a couple opened a joint account to purchase a large investment. He took out some of the money when the deal fell through, but did not tell her. She found out after the fact. Joint account. Let me tell you guys something about joint account. When a lot of time you go open a joint account, you don't ask questions. And a lot of times people get so excited when they're doing these kind of businesses that they don't ask questions. Do you know what a joint account should be? A real joint account should be written that you can draw it without I knowing, and I can draw it without you knowing. A lot of people don't know that that clause is there. It is there when you're going to open an account. Most people open it under anyone can draw. But the fine print is there, guys. When you go and open a joint account, it is there. You choose only one person can draw. That's what is going to be there. Only one person can draw. Anyone can draw, or we both have to sign to draw. Wake up, ladies. We both have to sign to draw. Now, why most people do not do that part is because if something should happen, the other person cannot go and draw, let's say an accident or anything like that, then they would have to come with paperwork to show that here is this person is no longer with us, or this person something unable to sign. And that is why most people just do it where anyone can sign. Now, if you have where anyone can sign because you're not comfortable, you're scared that if something happened, blah, 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 then check it every day. Now you could check it on your phone and all of that. Check it every day. Check it every day. But I personally like you can draw it without me. You can draw it without me. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. All right. So, hello, Jackie Mom. Welcome. Now, let's see who is here. He cut off the relationship. Tiffany, from the start, I've always have a private account. So you went in with your private account. If you're just joining, we're basically wrapping up. We have 2 minutes. And thank you, Margaret, for sending some topics. As a matter of fact, this was inspired. Our topic today is inspired by one of your topics. Our next topic, we're going to be doing one of your topic very soon. If you want to be on the live, Margaret, you can. And I already explained to you how you can. If you want to be on one of the topic that you send, let's just send your information and I tell you how, we work it in. Now, if you're watching and you want to be on our live show, we just started this series. We're doing it for this month to see how it's going. We're coming up with different topics. However, we want this to, take off even more. And we're looking for guests to be on the show. So if you want to be a guest on the show, to talk about like the topic that we're doing, or if you have something you can share, like you do any form of a craft and you want to show us how to make it, you can cook, you want to share a dish with us, you have a nice shoes closet you want to share, you have not like a garden, you want to share it with us, you can be on our show. We will work around whatever you have to offer and get a topic so we all can information to khichibeauty@gmail.com. Now, also, if you have ideas for the show that you think would make a good topic, a good conversation topic, send it to khichibeauty.com at gmail.com. So that is my show today. Quick announcement for those of you who are on the 25-day skincare challenge, and I'm going to post the link in community when I'm done. I am not able to do the show tonight. I have some emergency that just pop up out of nowhere that I have to take care of, but I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. For our skincare challenges, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. However, I'm going to bypass tonight and I'm going to be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. However, you all have the printout so you know what to do for today. Okay, you know what to do for today, and that's why I like the printout. If I have an emergency like now, then you already know what to do. So join me tomorrow 7:30 p.m. Eastern for 25-day skincare challenge. And for our midday show, we're going to be on tomorrow 12 noon. Set your calendar, invite some friends to come on over. Or if you know someone who would make a good guest on our show, go ahead and invite them over and send their information. We'll have a talk with them and see if we could get them on the show. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Go and watch the video I post on the chat. Support the channel, and when you come on here, give us a thumbs up. We're trying a new system, not sure if it's working out. Tomorrow I might not use the system here, go back to the regular and try to compare to see what is going on. But for guests and stuff, this system is great. Just learning it, but hopefully we will learn to master it a little better. Be good to yourself, have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow at noon. Bye-bye.